childhood. Like childhood, when you growing up, it might actually shape you how you are as a person in the future. Like it might not be like the 100% of you, but it's actually like more like already 80% it would be formed how you interact with people, how you react to certain things over the long period of time, all based on how you grow up since the when you are young. So I'm like, how how is the like what's the best way to grow up when you are young? Because during my time, I have a like really have a rough childhood because when I think about it, like it's not really, I guess it's quite normal back then, but I'm like in an era where like it's transiting to like, oh, this kind of abuse is not tolerated, but back then was actually quite normal. So I'm like, I don't know about how severe it is, but yeah, back then I faced all that and it seems to be normal. So like for example, I'm a very slow person. Like maybe when I was young already, I feel like I might already have a ADHD, and because of that, like I was actually quite slow to understand stuff. Even like just simple things like even just standing up and walk. It took me all the way to 1 year, 3 months. When on average, each child should be able to start to walk about 6 to 1 year or so. Yeah, so not a very good start. And my back then my grandmother was the one who take care of me. So she was actually like quite patient with me all this time till until that 1 year mark where I was still struggling to walk, and he she threatened me to hit me using this wooden spoon also to make sure I start walking. I'm not sure how is that productive. It sounds like a counterproductive thing by like caning me to not walk. Isn't like the pain makes me not want to walk? So I'm not sure. And because of that, yeah, it took me a while to before I can walk compared to my cousins or even my sister. So even I also from what I understand, even during the time when I start to learn how to talk also, it took me like months later compared to everyone else. So I'm like, I don't know. Maybe since young already I'm like quite a slow learner. But so that is like the small part of it. Then as I start grow older, I go to the kindergarten, and during I believe it's K2 or primary one, where I was enrolled to this Sunday school to start to learn religious study, to like basically how to learn the Quran or the book like similar to a Bible or whatever holy book that you all know. Yeah, it's basically to read that because the language is in Arabic language, or and also I don't know why I also, yeah, it's in Arabic, but apparently I still have to learn Jawi as well. Maybe the word is in Jawi, not sure. Yeah, I didn't really try to figure out because I don't really understand, because apparently I have to learn two different language like the Jawi and Arab, which I failed miserably. And because of that, I I was told to learn from the very beginning, which is like basically their basic book about the different ways to speak. Basically, it's similar to like your alphabet book where they would teach you this is A, this is B, this is C, that kind of thing. Yeah, is and because of that, even the because Arabic people like to read the words from right to left instead of left to right, it also caused me more confusion. And also like during that time when I was only like the primary one, I already seen like others who already like maybe halfway through in the book to like three quarter of the book already, and they are all, like on their way to read the Quran itself. And even until like for me, I reached until the primary three, I never even managed to cover half of the book. It's like just the short sentences like that. I struggle I made because like apparently after the like near the end of the book, like it is very close to like reading the verse of the Quran itself, which I never even get to reach there because I dropped out by the time I reached primary three. And my ustazah, which is my female religious teacher, has a special way to teach me, like not really teach me, like the way to like ensure that I have a proper tone or proper pronunciation of the language. She would like always use this red tip pen, and it could be like this. The pen, right, is like sometimes it's a ball pen, or sometimes it's like those quite thin pen like the 0.7 type, like very fine, that they can poke, and they start to poke me every time I say one wrong word. So I'm like, it's like quite interesting lah for me because everyone else, I remembered that whenever they go there and start to read the book, which is called, I think, the Ikra or something like that, they are able to read it like close to flawless, and they still get poked, but their hand, right, it's like only like just a few pokes here and there. And I'm like, while me on the other hand, they only have half. Mine is like the entire hand, to the point that I believe like some of the hole, right, start to merge into like their own continent like that. It was quite bad. And because some for some reason, because it took like 1 week plus to not really, because my class is every Sunday, so it's like I can like see like different holes on my hand every time. But fortunately it's like it is recovered lah, so doesn't you can't really see on my hands here. But I don't know that, I don't know that by inflicting pain to your student is the best way to teach your student, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, back then I don't know how is it a good thing. I mean, like, it's at least they use a pen to poke instead of like a rotan or something to like keep on smacking my hand, which is apparently quite common before then. So I'm like, yeah, it doesn't work for me lah, because I truly believe, right, there is no such thing as a bad student, but there is such thing as a bad teacher. Because I don't understand that why that everybody thinks that each child have must teach them a very specific way, when everyone is different, like everyone is learning very differently. And sometimes what works for them doesn't really works for us, or for my case is just for me. And it also it also not only in learning how to read and how to walk, it also to the point that I'm supposed to learn how to swim. And fun fact, until now I still can't swim at all. I do love dipping my toes in the pool, but actually generally I have quite a fear of water. No, not really fear of water, but fear of drowning. That's why I don't really swim, because apparently every time my body near the mouth area, my body will tend to like tense, like quite tense very badly. And I still don't know how to untense it every time I under the when I start to submerge underwater, because they even tell me how to like, oh, you can like control your breathing by underwater, or you can try to like lie down and just relax. Yeah, even though my mind is relaxed, but my body is not it's not relaxing at all, which I don't really understand. Because like that one time that we went to a swimming pool, and my uncle had this brilliant idea to like say, hey, I know a very sure proof to teach the child by like literally drowning him. Yeah, drowning. Not really drowning per se, but more like force him to swim to the shore. Which I don't know, it sounds dumb nowadays. But yeah, back then my uncle would literally lift me up, and he would like literally yeet me into the pool. And mind you, it is not really the kid pool, like really the adult pool. He literally threw me into the adult pool and then expect me to swim. And I don't remember how old was I, but I remember I was pretty very young, possibly in primary school, I guess. And yeah, he just threw me into the water, and till today I still can't swim. Because according to him, like, oh, just let the child be like 10 seconds in the water, he would be naturally learn how to do the fight or flight thingy. Yeah, fight or flight mechanism to trigger him, and then suddenly he will magically out of nowhere will just swim to the shore. Well, I guess my body just built to flight instead of fight, because I nearly drowned during that 10 seconds, because my uncle realized that I was not moving a single inch, and he just dived into the water and rescued me. And yeah, all I know, I was choking with full of water. And yeah, and because of that, I despise swimming, I guess. But I still love enjoying dipping in the water, floating around. As long my feet can feel the floor, I'm actually cool with it. But the moment I don't feel it, my whole body will start to panic, which is quite bad. Especially if I got trapped in somewhere, maybe like like those Titanic or something. Touch wood. Okay. And yeah, so even in the army, right, they try to teach me how to swim, but I spent almost one full year there. I still can't swim. Yeah, because I mean like because I was the I didn't pass my PPT, which is the fitness test, and kinda thrown extra 3 months for mandatory training to keep up pace with the those who actually passed the IPPT. And like throughout that time, they actually brought us to swim. And if you can swim, you will move from the cat C all the way to cat A, because cat C is people who can't swim at all, and cat A those who can swim relatively well using the, I believe, the frog style for 100 meters. Yeah, so can you imagine, like, close to 1 year, I'm still stuck at C. Yikes. Mm. Because of that, I don't know. I don't know whether till today I can swim or not, because I tried all of the techniques that they have taught me, which is like basically the hold my breath underwater for, I don't know, 15-20 minutes or so. 15-20 minutes, 15-20 seconds or so. Yeah, I mean, I can do all that. Like, I can breathe. I can like lie back. But the problem is, I can't float. My whole body is just become a straight, like tense, straight up. So it's like, by right, when you control your breathing and stuff, your body will naturally supposed to like float up with, because your body start to create some air gaps here and there, and then you are supposed to like float this way. But for my body, for some reason, my body would like tend to be like that because my leg will like tense so hard, or my back tense so hard. So I'm like this most of the time, like very close, but not 90 degrees that people are trained to do. And even my encik got teach me with told me before lah, when during the his like so called the personal training, I try to do the swimming. He can feel he touch my back. He say your body is too tense. You're like supposed to relax it, but I'm not even controlling it. It's just naturally my whole body just like that. Like, what am I supposed to do? So I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, what am I supposed to do? I can't do anything. Yeah, so I don't know whether I would ever learn to swim again, but yeah, it is what it is. And then we can move on to the time when I was like close to primary 6, I guess. Yeah, so primary 6 is the time where I'm supposed to do this PSLE exam, which is the like the final year of primary school before you take an exam, a major exam to go to take your secondary school, to like go to the next level. And if you fail, you cannot go there. And apparently, I was this close to actually not taking the exam at all because they threatened me to postpone me 1 more year, as until because on that day I don't really like to do Malay homework. I don't know, it's something about my language, especially my Malay. I despise the homework a lot because I don't know. It's like talking in English. It feels more natural and easier to pick up compared to the Malay, where their English is very formal and it feels unnatural. So I'm like, half of the time when I want to do, I don't really understand what to do, so I don't even bother trying to do it. And because of that, even though like I tried my best to do last minute homework and stuff, and eventually it caught up on me. As one time I didn't do my homework and my teacher didn't like it at all. She decided to send to the principal office. And during the time, it was like the year that they actually changed to a new principal, because I don't even know how the new principal going to react like, because I know the old principal is actually quite nice and quite sweet. So tough luck for me, because apparently I was the one of the first few students that gonna send to him, as half of the time when my Malay teacher sent them over to the principal office, they were never in. But just by sheer luck, I was there when he was in the freaking room. Yeah, and my man was like, I heard that you never do your Malay homework. Is that true? I'm like, yeah. Then why don't you want to do your homework? I'm like, because I don't really understand how to do and I don't want to do. And he was like, oh, is it because you don't want to do, or is it because you play too much? I'm like, I don't really say that I don't really understand. I won't say that I didn't try, and like I won't say like I try and I don't understand, but more like I just give up trying and just want to play more. So I'm like, I guess because I played too much and I don't really know how to do. And then I don't really do the homework. Yeah, like more like I say I like, forget how to do the homework. Like forget to do the homework lah. And my man was like, I see. How about I give this proposal? Since you want to play so much, how about I give you the entire year to play, and then you take your PSLE next year. And I was like, bro, no, man, I already spent 6 freaking years in this school. Why would I spend 1 more year? Then he was like, so do you promise that you will do your Malay homework? I'm like, yeah, it's, it's a bit hard for me because it's quite tempting, to be like, just return 1 more year so that you can just play all you want and then you like don't heck care for the exam. But the other part of me, I'm like, yo, then I will be behind with all my friends by 1 year. That's not cool. So I'm like half-heartedly, I was like, yes, sir, I will. I will make sure I will do my homework and will not be here again. And it was like, okay, one more time, if she send you here, I'm going to postpone your PSLE to next year. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, yes, sir. So on that day, since that day, I always beg my friends like, bro, lend me your homework. I just want to copy half of the homework can already. I don't really care. I don't really care about your answers, whether it's correct or wrong. I'm just like, bro, just let me. So I'm like, since then I become more resourceful, I guess, learning to write my homework, to do my homework as fast as I can, and also be more resourceful like to like find who are the people who are willing to actually lend their homework and who are the people who are not really willing and who might snitch to people. So I'm like, and I guess I learned since then to be more resourceful. Since I know on my own I'm actually hopeless. Yeah, and apparently this attitude just went on all the way to the point that I start to do my N level. And during my N level, like because after you take because my score for my PSLE wasn't that good, which is about 169 aggregate, which is not very good to go to express stream, but I only good for normal academic. I'm actually quite close to normal technical than normal academic, to be honest. With like my score of like 3 C's and 1 B, and like all three like I take only four subjects, which is the English, Malay, Maths, Science, and English. Yeah, so I with for these all four subjects, can you imagine C being just the passing grade? I got like C, 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 and a B. And if everyone asks me, I know which B you got. I'm pretty sure they don't, because everyone will assume that my Malay will be a B. And sorry to disappoint, my B is in my science. Yeah, for some reason my science was actually quite good, especially my chemistry. I don't really like chemistry, but for some reason my maths, my physics, well, I mean apparently I like physics, but my chemistry was the better modules for some reason. So beside the point, with all C's and 1B, I just brought this attitude all the way to my N level, which is my secondary school, which already by then already I spent 4 years in school, and my N level was actually quite average, which is I scored a 16 pointer, and that 60 pointer 16 point, and I assume that if that easy, O level should be a piece of cake, because at sec 4, right, I had a choice but whether I should go to IT directly or continue to sec 5 to do my O level so that I can go directly to go poly. And more often than not, they say that if whatever you scored for N level, you will tend to score double the points on what you got for your O level if you keep the standard the same. I didn't really believe it, and because if 16 point now times 2 would be 32, and the lowest grade that I could get to go to a polytechnic is about 28, and 32 is 4 points off, and I was like, wait, no, should be not that bad, right? Since during A level I literally spent studying. No, I don't really actually. I remember I didn't really study for my A level because I was literally at the arcade playing the maximum tune driving, like literally the day before the exam, and I studied on the exam itself. like, like like few minutes, like 30 minutes before the exam, I start studying, and somehow I still scored. I'm like, easy man, GG, easy. Yeah, and reality actually set upon me when during my first attempt on my O level, I got 31 points. 31 points. That is like 1 point off to the N level grade, if I times two it. Yeah, I'm like actually quite surprised because when I look at the grade, I got C, C, D, C. And the worst part is all the C are the six, 7, 6. That is so bad. Like it's just a borderline pass. Because technically they call the D7 a borderline pass, but to me I just consider it just a just fail instead of just pass. And when you combine the points, it's 31 points instead of yeah, it's 31 points because of that. Because if you combine the L1 R5, which is to go JC, I will have like 36, I guess. No, sorry, 31 plus 6. Yeah, I will have 37. I will have 37 points to go JSC, which wasn't my goal in the first place, is to go to poly. And even with that, it uses L1R4, which is basically one language and the remaining four, including one of your maths. One of it must be a maths. And the one that got D7 is my maths. Of all the things, my maths, I got D7. I mean, like, not really surprised, because since in the beginning, when I was in Sec 1, I was given a chance to do express maths and normal academic maths. So I'm actually taking two different maths. One maths, right, is supposed to be more harder than the basic maths. And the basic maths was supposed to be the one that I'm supposed to take from my N level and O level, is my N level standard. While this express maths is the one that I'm supposed to learn from my O level maths. So I'm like, for some reason, right, I struggle badly for my basic maths, and I do actually relatively well for my express maths all the way to Sec 3, I think. Sec 3, yeah, maybe Sec 3. But because I was flunking my normal maths, they actually kicked me out from the express maths, saying you need to focus on your normal maths because your normal maths is bad, so that you can't even take your O level. And somehow I got D7 for my O level compared to my, I think, C5, was it C6 for my N level. Yikes. And I remember because the teacher who teach me for maths, right, she was a super horrendous teacher I ever met in my life. This teacher, right, I feel she has no business in teaching secondary school kids. Like she, the way she teach, right, is as good as teaching those university part-time students, where like whatever you see in the book, she would literally just refer on the screen itself. Like like on the whiteboard. She will like literally write down the exact same thing what it says there, and then just regurgitate the word itself. I don't know whether that's the actual word, but yeah, you will just repeat what it says there in the book. Which, like, bruh, if I can read that shit, why would I want to listen to you? As usual, my reading skills suck so bad. And I don't understand a single thing in the book. And this bugger just there as a like a voice version of this book. I'm like, bro, come on, man. And then the best part, you know what this teacher got the cheek to say. Oh, like that also don't understand ah. Huh? So clear. It says there how to do. I'm like, it's not clear lah. That's why I asked you. But no, she was like, no, no, no. This is how you're supposed to do. Then I'm like, is there other way to understand? He said, no, you need to go read the book again. That's the problem. I don't even understand the bloody book. And then you are just repeating the what it says in the book. There's no other ways to understand it. And then because of that, because of that, she also tend to, because she is a Chinese teacher, so she obviously she will tend to lean towards speaking Mandarin, which I don't really blame her because it's probably her more comfort language. Because the people who are like really willing to study, right, who like really sit in front of the class, right, those Chinese, is just happen to be all of them are Chinese, and they always get like a special treatment, I guess, where they will speak in Mandarin, and then she will also repeat back in Mandarin, and then talk, 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 and then suddenly, oh, they understand everything. While we been treated like a second class citizen, like what the hell, bro. Then after a while, I just actually gave up on like trying to ask her anything. So what I do is I try myself how to do the exam. I mean how to do the questions, and then I decided to ask my friend. And I mean like my friend was quite nice to me. He tried to teach me, but my slow ass brain can't really understand how he understand it. So I'm like I struggle a bit, but managed to chug along and understand a bit. But this same girl told me, why are you talking to your friends? If you got any question, you can ask me. I'm like, this mud. Yeah, I was pissed off, bro. First of all, she repeats exactly what the thing says in the book, and then now you don't even let me ask my friend, because it was like he assumed that I'm just talking to her, talking to him, which actually, to be fair, maybe I didn't know, because sometimes I get sidetracked. But when I want to do the homework, I would actually try to ask my friend a lot how to do this homework, because there is a lot of questions. So I would just do one, I get stuck, I ask my friend, manage to do one, and then do two, try to do, cannot do, I ask my friend again. So maybe because of that, continuous, she thought that I was talking. And because of that, she scold me. So I'm like, okay, fine, fine. I don't ask my friend anymore. And I did what I can do, which is sleep. So I just lay on my table and just fall asleep. Yeah, because I just gave up. So I try to understand from the book, cannot understand from book. Try to understand from teacher, she's not even trying. So I try to understand from my friend, got scolded, so I just gave up. So like it occur for like almost a few weeks, I guess. And suddenly this mofo, one day he just decided to pull me out and then say, like literally call me out. He say, come Nash, come. Then he pulled me out all the side of the classroom. And then he say, why are you sleeping in the class? Why are you here in the first place? Why don't you just go IT? Just drop out. It's easier for you. It's easier for me. It's like just don't waste your time here. Might as well. Just think about it. You can just drop out right now if you want. Then after I'm like, okay, cool story, bro. Like in my head, I'm like, yes. Mm. I'm like, I don't care anymore, man. So I'm like, yes, ma'am. I will think about it. Then she will just walk out, and then I just continue doing my things again, lah, which is go back to sleep. Yeah. So and after all of that, I'm actually surprised that actually I still got D7. That's quite amazing, with the power of like last minute studying. And maybe I actually purchased some books, those like like kind of flashcards thingy. Yeah, they did help me buy a bit to understand like certain formula and stuff, but not really help me like if it is short of like this formula, what other formula can I do? Like it's very linear. It's not very dynamic where I can like move, chop and change as I want, which is quite problematic to me because my brain is somehow is scattered, but it's very systematic as well, which makes me very hard to understand how to do this stupid question. Because to be honest, right, I don't really understand what I learn. Like I don't really know what I'm memorizing. I only understand the pattern on the question that is given. So it is like literally those the toy box where you give you the shapes and then you say, oh, this thing go to the square box. This thing go to the square box. That kind of thing. It's like that's how my brain works, and it's very hard for me because even they give me like those 10-year series. I try to do like 5 questions in a row, like the same exact damn questions. Just like this item, like this one variable is missing, or they remove the other variable is missing. But actually, you do use the same goddamn question as equation, but I can't do it. I just don't understand, and nobody is going to help me because they also can't really understand how my whole brain works. Which and sometimes they fast be quite a bit frustrated lah, because the more I ask, the more it's like, bro, you can actually do this, bro, you can do that. Then after a while they feel like actually I'm asking the same question again and again, which is, to be fair, yes, it's true, but they just didn't like teach me how to get to that point. They just teach me like this is the point and you must understand this way. So I'm like, okay, I understand this point only. So the moment you twist a bit, my whole algorithm just crashed. You know, it's like AI and no AI. AI will able to change when certain things is missing. Then non AI will be like, bro, what do I do now? Because this one variable is missing. I cannot do anymore. Yeah, that is like my brain right now. So and I got D7. I got 31 points. Unable to go school at all. I can't go to anywhere. Like literally, like when you graduate, right, they give you this white piece of paper, like this envelope, like this big, and the paper they will fold into half, and then sometimes, right, they and because of that, when you open up, right, it is like a A1 size paper like that. And usually they will like list down all the possible school that you can go, from the IT school and also the polytechnic schools or JC schools, like one whole damn list, like all the different code. When I received my paper with that 31 points, I opened the first half. All I see is blank piece of paper. Like literally is blank. Ah, I wish I can show you the paper. It's like this. I don't know where is it anymore. Then first half is blank. The other half, right? All I see is 4 codes. Four fucking codes. And none of it is from poly. The four codes are all from higher NITEC. It's like, bro, that is so pathetic. And I was like, literally, this was like one of my lowest moment like, in my life, you know. I feel so pathetic. Like, everyone else can go to a polytechnic and go to a decent school, while me, I'm just like, bro, I'm stuck. Like, what the heck do I do now? And and because of that, right, I I had a choice to go to either the IT with the four courses, or continue with my retain one more year to do my O level. Because if I go to ITE, right, which is the technical school, the technical school, usually they have like these two tiers. One is the higher NITEC, and one is the normal tech. The normal technical, which is 3 year school. After 3 years, you will graduate to the higher NITEC. And once you hit the higher NITEC, you spend 2 more years, and then you go to you can choose to go polytechnic or straight go work. So the option I was given is immediately go to the second tier to spend 2 years and go to high polytechnic. But back then they have a stigma of, like, everyone think that IT wasn't a good school. Like, a lot of them there, because they are a failure. Like, is already ingrained in their mind that, oh, you go there because you cannot study, that's why you want to play around. And a lot of them, unfortunately, stereotypically, are all Malays. And yeah, you once you go there, means it's like technically it's the end. They call it the acronym for ITE. It's the end. But there are actually a lot of success story, like those who actually study hard enough and they can go to polytechnic. But I don't think I was one of them, so I decided to just continue and decide to retry again, because in my mind was like, if I pass, I can save 1 year to go polytechnic instead of the additional 2 years to go polytechnic. So technically, I will just minus one to those who are actually in higher NITEC right now. But if I fail this gamble, I would spend additional 4 years before I go to IT. So sorry, to yeah, correct. I will spend additional 4 years total before I go to IT. So it's a gamble. It's a gamble, to be honest, because I wasn't confident that I can go through by the ITE route, due to the stigmatization, and also because lack of my confidence in being disciplined there. So I decided to retain 1 more year, and that year was actually the final year of my syllabus. So it was really a make or break for me, because if I don't manage to pass this O level, right, I'm pretty much screwed. Because if I ever try to retake again, I have to learn everything back from scratch, because all the syllabus change, like, quite significantly. Because of that, I decided to move on to retry again. And this time, right, actually I feel like the heaven actually descend, actually bless me with this teacher, right, which we call him the Mr. LCM, who is his actual name is actually, if I remember correctly, is Mr. Lim. Yeah, it's Mr. Lim. I can't remember the acronym, but yeah, this guy, this Mr. Lim, right, was actually a blessing to me. This guy, he is a actual teacher, a proper teacher for me, because, right, my man, right, he somehow, right, managed to internalize every single thing that I have inquiry for. It's like my IT help desk when I need help. He literally give me the help. And got one is even the same as I told you before, where I can ask my friend 4 different times and they will give me 4 different ways to do the work, but never tell me how to do each of them, like properly, like how they reach to that point. They will just give me to that point, like directly to the answer, not how to go to the answer. My man, all 4 questions, and I can see the pattern, how he reached to the answer individually, to the main source on how he found this answer. And after the fifth attempt, right, I was like, I could actually answer this goddamn question. And mind you, that question was like what, 20 marks. Yeah, I remember it was 20 marks out of the 100% paper, that is a lot of marks. And my way actually taught me how to answer that. I was like, wow, first time in my entire life, I'm like, damn, I could be a genius. Yeah, because of that, I'm like, thanks to him, I am actually managed to improve my grades by a lot. My during my first attempt in my O level for my maths, I got D7. But for this exam, I got C5. Is I'm actually quite impressed. I'm actually quite impressed that I could even get C at all. Because I thought I'm like, probably just a C6, I guess, or a D7 again. But because of him, right, I got C5. Like, bro, and it's like a C5 is like a very comfortable pass. It's not a distinction, it's not a very good grade, but for my standard is like, this is a major improvement. Because every other grades, right, is like, for me it's just a major, it's not really a major difference, because for my two languages, which is my maths and my Malay, maths and Malay, my other languages, which is my English and Malay, both still retain the same C6. Yeah, C6. But my humanities and my science, who was supposed to be the strong subject, got B3, even though back then got C6 because of due a lot of careless mistakes. A lot of careless mistakes. Yeah. Because of that, I just found out that, oh, okay, I can just do this, I can get the answer correctly, and I actually got B3, which is quite expected. But for my maths though, C5 Damn. Yeah, and because of that, I realized that I wasn't really good at maths and not really good at physics. So I joined engineering. Yeah, I don't know why I joined engineering, but yeah, it's the only one that have the closest to my grade. So I joined engineering, mechanical engineering specifically. I suck at that class. I can't really understand the class because it's mainly like drawing, memorizing materials, and a lot of counting, like a lot of physics. And I really bad at physics, but somehow I managed to script through with 2.6793. How? Why do you? And before you ask me why so specific, it's because 2.69, sorry, 2.67. Correct. 2.69 wasn't good enough to go for an interview in SIT. While my friend who has 2.7, he got an interview. That very marginal change would actually make me get an interview in SIT. But nope, never get at all. So because of that, I keep on thinking of that 2.6973. Great at the time, all the time. It haunts me until today. And how I got to uni is literally just because of my 2 years work of experience. Since I was in engineering in uh in poly, I just say, just find anything, just type assistant engineering, enter. and then I got the list. Just join. I just search nearby radius, and I work for 2 years, and for 2 years I just work, and then just apply, and then suddenly you receive a invitation for your interview. No way! Yeah, I got interview. I not only got one interview, I got two freaking interview. Yeah, I was like, I was only expecting to get first choice only, but surprisingly, the second choice also called me, and thank God that the second choice actually called me, because if I just go for that one interview, I would actually kinda, I would have to wait one more year, one more year, because I flunked the first interview so bad. Yeah, and second interview I managed to go through, and then now here I am as a robotic system engineering student who is not doing that well, but I still managed to plow through to close to graduating, and currently I'm doing my internship. So I'm actually very close. I'm just almost hit the last hurdle, the very last hurdle before graduating. So I hope there's nothing too bad about it, and hopefully it's a smooth sailing before I can finally say graduation love. Yeah, so that is my very rough start of my childhood all the way to uni. Even though I'm a very slow child and possibly very hard to be teach, and at the end of the day I feel like there is no such thing as a bad student, but there are bad teachers out there. So find the correct tutor that actually would change your life, and you will see the difference in your perspective. So yeah, so that's all from me. I catch you all next time. See ya.